Alright, hey guys, we're back, and we're in the lobby for Frozen Temple. It's the winner's match of the group, so the winner of this will move on to the lighter portions of the Dutch StarCraft League. I think it just goes straight to a round of 8, but I don't know how seeding works, so don't ask me. Actually, ask Frank. He's on the DSC League in chat. If you got questions, again, that's the person to direct them to. But FeaR versus Reynor will be kicking off on Frozen Temple. We're just waiting for the players to ready up right now. And I gotta say, I don't know if you follow either you guys watching or Zombie Group here. I don't know if any of you guys follow Kathy, aka Zerg Girl, or Caliber, aka Caliber, Patrick, whatever. But I don't know what they're doing. But they've found some story that I've seen them tweeting these pictures out over the last couple of days of these like booby mouse pads, but it's like Overwatch characters. And while I'm like 100% positive that it's not sanctioned by Blizzard to sell those, I really want one. I used to have this anime booby one that Jacques bought me back in the day, and I've since lost that. I need a new booby mousepad. There's also a booty mousepad with Genji apparently too, but that's
Oh no, I'm interested. No,
yeah. Japanese men with fine asses, you say? Point me in that direction, Rifkin.
You know, there's like that really popular Overwatch comic artist. He does kind of like he has like Reapfield. I don't know if you've ever seen those.
I've probably, but I don't know what it's called.
For Reaper's Garfield and
yes.
Okay,
yes,
you see the style, right? Like I love the comics they did about Mercy and her butt obsession with Genji.
Yes, she's like lets everyone die so she can touch it, then rests them, and it's like play the game, and she's like all nervous, like. Man, I had some fantastic games yesterday playing Overwatch. By the way, like
it's fucking terrible games. You took all my good games.
Well, this is not actually leading into a great story, though. So I posted some of the highlights. You know, it's just fun to always do that on Twitter, and I had a great time playing Reinhardt and all stuff. But man, I've never played Overwatch at 4 a.m. before. And full disclosure, guys, I couldn't sleep last night, so I said, fuck it, I woke up and played a couple of games and went to bed. I had never played Overwatch at 4 a.m. before, and there's some very interesting things that happen at 4 a.m. Zombie Grub. Number one, there's considerably more Asians that you'll queue with, even though you're on the North American server. So, got some Japanese, got some Korean players, like a huge mix of both. And I only know this because I didn't say, hey, just curious, those symbols in your name, what do those mean? Is that Japanese? No, it can't be because someone on the other team was being really fucking racist and these guys were like correcting. I'm like, no, I'm not Chinese, I'm Japanese, or I'm Korean while you're saying shit, man, like stuff like that. And what pissed me off about this wasn't actually the racist guy. Don't get me wrong, guys, I'm not a fan of racist, but what is happening here was he was successfully baiting them with like these Bronze League StarCraft tactics, pissing them off, so they're typing in chat instead of playing, and we had a game that we had absolutely won. Without a doubt, we held the first point. It was going to be a breeze taking it on the attack. We lost because two of our teammates were just fucking typing, getting mad at this racist guy the entire game. So I'm like, wow, if I want to get masters in Overwatch, I just got to queue up at 4 a.m., be super racist, and bait the other team into getting mad at me about it. Like, holy crap, it was such a nightmare. So I played 3 games, I won 2 of them, and I should have won the 3rd, but oh boy, it went real bad.
I played like 8 games, and 5 of them were draws, which I fucking hate.
Well, it's better than losing.
No, man, I don't even know about that. Because there were also like 4 out of 5 of the draws were the draws that you don't even get the first point. So like, but you stopped them from the first point too.
By the way,
it's really frustrating.
How many games did you play?
Like 8.
Well, fuck you, because I told you to invite me if we're gonna play games. If you're gonna play anything yesterday.
No, well, I didn't think you were playing because I played 2.
Nope,
and then
fair.
I was like, hey, we're gonna play co-op, and you were like, I have that thing in my mouth, so I can't speak. Okay, well, anyways, you didn't want to play with me, trust me, all right? Like, I was playing pretty poorly. I had bad luck with my teammates.
I don't actually know
what rating. What
rating are you? I don't actually even know.
Oh, I don't want to say now.
Oh,
I started off not that great anyways, but I dropped like 200. But I got into this game that I finally won one, and it was because like at the start everyone was actually really friendly to each other. And the one guy was like, yeah, I had a pretty terrible day. I started out at 2800, now I'm done at 2000 or 2000.
2000! You heard it here, guys! 2000!
Like, oh my god, that 800 rating difference. Holy shit. That is the worst I've ever heard. So I felt really bad for him, and luckily he won. But I have a similar kind of like somewhat it wasn't racist, but it was kind of funny, I guess, in the same way that your story was. Let's do the intros first.
You guys watching the Dutch StarCraft League. If you enjoy it, make sure to tweet at them. Get involved with that giveaway. You can win a t-shirt, a StarCraft thing, and some Dutch StarCraft League loot stuff. I think it was like a sticker or a badge or something he had said. You can find out more on Twitter, but of course you can ask in chat. We're getting into the winners match of the group. This will lead to the round of 8 and spawning in the bottom right side. We got the blue Protoss, Dead Pixels, FeaR.
In the top left, as the red Zerg, he is Reynor. So, you see this pylon, I guess, try and block out a hatchery, which Reynor anticipates. The drone on the edge is kind of funny looking.
Don't do it, choose life.
I actually thought that this guy was trolling, to be honest. I felt really bad when I realized that he wasn't, but we get on Voskaya Industries, you know, that map, and he instantly starts off by talking to us in the chat and says, in a Russian accent, that please don't make fun of his accent, he can't change it, and we hope we have good games. And I thought that was like, it was polite, but it was heavily accented. I kind of thought he was trolling, but I wasn't using voice chat. So I was just like, oh, does your accent change depending on the map? And he was like, no, it's not something I can turn on and off. And he was like dead serious, and I felt like an ass. Because he actually was Russian. But I thought it was so coincidental. I mean, when does that happen, okay? Is it really my fault? I've been ruined by the internet.
Thanks for sharing your guilt with us. I think the guilt was a better part of that story than the actual story, to be honest.
Yo, meeting a Russian guy on Voskaya Industries.
Your story boils down to I met a Russian guy who didn't sound Russian. How crazy was that?
No, he did sound Russian, but I didn't believe him. My story boils down to how often does this happen?
I don't know. We missed this, by the way, but we got a donation. These don't happen often. That's probably rarer than meeting a guy who sounds Russian that isn't Russian or is Russian. Reynor, $25, a very generous amount. So thank you very much for the donation. He says, I want to announce something. Hi.
Hi.
By the way, Reynor has been particularly adamant about this. I'm just going to quickly just say this for anyone that was tuned in or you helped donate to the dental fund earlier in the year. I have my little mouth apparatus thing. Luckily, it's not something that gets like permanently installed in my mouth, but I do have this requirement where I have to wear it from 4 p.m. to like 8 a.m. every day-ish, and it is not comfortable. Holy shit. I have newfound respect for people who like go to bed wearing a retainer and stuff like that. Like, ugh.
It's not that bad. It just tastes really bad, makes your mouth stink, and you can't talk with it.
Well, so like a retainer, I think, is, from what I understand at least, it's there to just hold the position of your mouth, right? So it doesn't like.
Yes.
This is supposed to widen my mouth, and considerably
yeah, I think yours
so.
Is more
so it's very painful to wear. It's not fun, but
yeah. Actually, I imagine it's like wearing a retainer when you haven't wearing a retainer, because then it's trying to push your teeth back into what was a better position after they've actually started to move in. And I've had that before, and I will actually wake up from the pain. Just like a very, very, very sore jaw. Anyway.
Yellow stuff.
So that sounds sucky for you.
Yellow stuff has been saving esports. I don't know what that means. You guys can interpret that how you like. For 21 months, thank you so much. People ask about Reynor in chat. Reynor is young. He is like 13 or 14. He's one of the younger Zerg players playing StarCraft right now, and actually plays at a fairly high level. I guess we kind of haven't discussed that too much because that first series went by so quickly. But yeah, Reynor is a very young Italian player, and he's quite good at the game. He's actually won prize money on BaseTradeTV in the past as well.
Clem younger. It's like amazing how flippin' young both these guys are. 2002. Oh, I hate looking up Clem's Wikipedia. Literally a kid. Picture. He's 14. I don't know. I think Reynor might be 15 now. The thing is that 4 years ago, when we talk about Xenocider, he was also a really young kid. Now he's not so young anymore.
He's not. He's busy throwing thousands of dollars on like apparently like college games and shit. Like he's betting. He's playing StarCraft. He's grown up into a ne'er-do-well.
Well, I saw that coming.
Yeah, he was a punk, but he was never a ne'er-do-well. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
And for those who don't natively speak English, you're like, what is Rifkin saying? I'm just being sarcastically BM, so don't worry about it. Baneling's gonna get sniped off. This is actually really great control. FeaR doesn't take much damage, if anything. The Ling surround is certainly still dangerous, but it's the Banelings that'll make it so this isn't manageable. So backs up against the wall. The Adept's going to try and take this fight. There's no +1 weapon upgrades for Reynor, but he's got a good enough surround that these Adepts still go down.
3 more join up, and Reynor does need to depend on these Lings coming out right now, but it's 26 Lings. If the Adepts get a good position, they could potentially take them on, but now with the Banelings also on the way, I think it might just be better for FeaR to play a little bit safe and bring these back, or maybe just add more Adepts on. I mean, the more times he adds reinforcements to this main attack, you know, when he takes one or, you know, a couple of bad Baneling hits, the less he'll have at home. He'll have, like, nothing at home, right? In case Reynor tries to counterattack, but he's gonna at least posture, I suppose, try and appear threatening. And Reynor has to take every single time he sees those Adepts move in very seriously. And now he sees the Warp Prism, I think he's gonna be a little more scared and wish he had a couple more Banelings. This is still off the back of 3 gateways, so not too dedicated. The Banelings had some pretty nice hits right there. Like, half of those Adepts were pretty low. The Ling's got some executions.
The problem I'm concerned about, though, is FeaR has a very healthy economy behind this. Hell, he's still probing, so replacing these Adepts isn't too problematic. And this doesn't seem to be, at least at the moment, one of those situations where, okay, you lose the Adepts on the attack, so the immediate counterattack will be a GG. Like, FeaR's got pretty decent production. He's got Immortals coming out next, and I don't think he'll die to this Ling counterattack. He might take some damage at his third base, though, that's for certain.
FeaR had made... this is a mistake that has killed a lot of Protosses in the past. He didn't start his gateways for his extra production. So he's only on 3 even right now, and like 3 Sentries and Immortal could actually get overwhelmed by Lings if it wasn't for the overcharges. If Reynor had also had Roaches on the way, and like could make 3 or 4 Ravagers, I think he could actually seriously damage the third base while the production is still finishing up. But unfortunately he wasn't. He was entirely dependent on the Lings and Banelings, and they didn't clean it up as fast as he would have liked. I will say that it seems like most of the other Zergs are trying to get a Roach Warren, just in case, and a couple of Roaches, as depending purely on Banelings has not worked out for a while now.
No, and I think a large part of that was you watch people like Neve, much less others, if they just split a little bit, like not even what looks like has effort put into it, but they just split, it seems to be more than good enough. And 2 overcharges and a cannon looks like it's a little too scary. Maybe FeaR didn't know there was a hole in the wall. Maybe he did. Either way, it's filled in now, and there won't be any more Ling run-bys so easily. Ravagers coming up next. I like the idea of Ravagers. I love the idea of Ravagers combined with Infestors, no matter what the matchup is. And we'll see if that comes down anytime soon. But with a Macro Hatchery out of Reynor, I'm wondering if he's going to have a lot more emphasis on Ling production. There's just no reason to need that much larva this soon if you're looking to do Infestors. That's all I'm saying.
You may be hitting a lot more on Lings. You know, the Ravagers, if they can get away, which, you know, the Lings all die and you start retreating as soon as you realize it's not going to go well for you, then, you know, maybe you never have to replace them. So I think we'll see mostly Lings pop out of the larva from here on out. But I don't know about Infestors. I mean, yes, Infestors are always a great addition, but Reynor might want to focus on maxing out first, getting that large Baneling count as well. But I also feel like the time has already been kind of missed here. FeaR, you know, third base wasn't stopped or held up, or, you know, no probes died. He did finally get to his production, and now he's also gotten to his tech. So there's Archons and Immortals. It's still going to be a hard hold, just because, you know, you got to have the Archons on the front, and the force field is going to be at least decent, but we'll see how it goes. The Banelings roll in. So much for the force fields.
So much for the force fields, indeed. The charge shots on the backside running away from this. And the charge shots can actually take on the Ravagers, funny enough. That's where the Banelings are really important. So they slam into the last couple of Zealots, but now it's Reynor who's got to consider falling back from this. A couple more Baneling hits, but not enough as the Archons give chase. Reynor's army is getting destroyed.
Yeah, that still worked out pretty well. I think that there could have been 1 or 2 force fields to try and help, but the point is he kept the charge lots, which are the cleanup crew, from all dying instantly, and even kept some of his Archons and Immortals alive. So Reynor, you know, he has like another attack like that, for sure. Maybe 1 more after that, but he does have to start thinking about other ways to win this game other than brute forcing with Roach Ravager Baneling. Well,
+2 melee finishes up in a moment. Busting the southern wall is going to be quite the task. I mean, taking out one of the pylons with the Banelings isn't so problematic, as it is just getting around all the cannons and all the potential overcharges, but it's a lot of legs getting in, so maybe, just maybe, gonna get the damage he wants. There's no Mothership Core here nearby, nothing happening other than a couple of Zealots warping in. I just like Bill Cosby with a hippity-hoppity-hoppity-ho. But anyways, the Lings are gonna get cleaned up, and this won't be like too much of an issue. Attacking the north side looking like it's gonna come into effect. So, Zombie Grub, did you try reinstalling Skype? Or is it totally broken? It looks like it's totally broken, so I'm gonna be YOLO solo casting. We have a workaround, folks. Don't worry, we'll get to fixing it, and we'll try and hopefully after this game change things up a little bit. But raining death from the skies. For those who are asking what's going on, because he will, I'm sure, in a couple minutes, to explain Skype, for whatever reason, neither of us can seem to figure out, is if I go to him when casting, or if Zombie Grub's game sounds are too loud, or a combination of many things, the sound just completely stops working. Like, it goes from this to... And that's what we hear on the other side of it, so... it's stupid. Let me try giving her a call. Oh, what up, girl? I've never had a girl call me before. What do I do now?
What?
Is this where we do sex?
What?
Hello?
Huh?
Hello?
Hello?
Actually, is this working? I don't know. I was trolling before.
It is working.
Okay.
I know.
Attacking the south. Banelings open the wall once again and roll in, but these probes from FeaR have been really well controlled. Pulled back for another time. Looks like the defense is just going to be chewed through it. Should FeaR have brought too much of the army back home, I think that's when Reynor pounces in the north, but FeaR didn't falter, and he pushes in the north instead. Reynor needs a lot of Banelings to deal with this attack, and he unfortunately is finishing them up only just now. That is a hell of a lot of Banelings, don't get me wrong, guys, but I don't know if 36 Banelings can take on this many Archons, because he needs even more for the Zealots behind them. He realizes this too. He rolls on in. He tries to split, kind of works. Meanwhile, has Skype already derped out so quickly?
Oh yeah, it was pretty bad.
Oh, fantastic. I tried to be calm about that too and not even go like super ham.
No, it was broken from the get-go.
Oh, fantastic. Well, there's a hive coming up. Let me try calling you and see if that fixes. Wunderbar. You guys can hear the phone ring. What up, girl? I found this number on a bathroom stall. It says call for a good time. How you doing?
I think you said time at the end there.
Yeah, it says call for a good time.
Oh yeah, that's what I figured. Actually, I've had this phone number, well, not this phone number in Skype. I had my cell phone number for like 14 years.
I've
for
had
like
this
7
Skype
years
phone
of it, man. I had so many calls asking for the wrong person. It sucked.
I had I guess it was a retired lawn service in like Toronto or something as my old phone number. I had to get it changed because people kept calling and complaining about the service. So first I'm like, well, clearly the service isn't good. They couldn't stay in business because I got their number. Secondly, like, stop calling me. But there's nothing I could do about it, so I had to get my number changed. And man, it was just like a headache.
I just had to tell like 24 like banks and IRS and people that I wasn't some STEM bogus girl or something. I think she was like dodging taxes or whatever.
Well, I'm just really sad because my really old number, I'm talking like 5 years ago, it was whatever for the first few digits, but it was 2222. So easy to remember.
Oh. Well, the game is still not over despite FeaR looking like he's been, handling the Baneling laying Roach, Ravager actually, not Roaches.
Ooh, that's a nice hit.
Yeah, loses his third base again. His fourth base really does look quite secure, even has a bit of SimCity on it.
I would say losing his third base is actually kind of a big deal. Not so much for the minerals, which is certainly lacking, but for the gas. He's looking to keep making this many Archons. Expired refineries in the main. The natural is getting really low, about 600, 700 between the two of them. He needs more gas for certain.
He also needs to transition to Tempest because Reynor has managed to buy enough time and take enough good engagements to actually advance his tech to the Greater Spire. Some fairly good splits coming down, but these upgraded Lings are still taking out the Archons. Here come the Charge Lots, but also another dozen Banelings.
Every time I see these Bailings rolling, I just want to. I hear Junkrat's ultimate in my head. I just play too much Overwatch, man. Riptide, ready to roll.
Reynor takes the first game.
That was, by the way, like Reynor just. I feel like the end of that game was him at the end of like a huge marathon, and you're just trying to get across that finish line, and you're like, I know I've got it in me. I know I've got what it's gonna take. Just get there, because like I tried to show the units lost. It didn't reflect it properly, I don't think, because there's way more than 70 Banelings that died that game. There's seriously like there's gotta be like 200 Banelings plus at least.
Yeah, maybe.
But we would not normally hit a commercial break here, guys, but we are gonna go to our attempted workaround here, so stick with us and we'll see you in 2 minutes while we get the audio set up to not break. Alright folks, we're back and we should have a workaround in place for these issues, so fingers crossed. New Gettysburg is going to be map number 2, and just quick reminder that this is the winner's bracket, so you can kind of consider this the qualification match if you'd like, as this will send one of these players into that round of 8, but game number 2 spawning the bottom left side. He's currently down 1 game. It is FeaR.
In the bottom right has the red Zerg. He is Reynor.
So I guess between the Alima League and the Corsair Cups and all these other things that we run, we're really used to loser's pick being the situation, but I would like to remind everybody that these are in fact vetoes, as this is a group stage, and they had all these maps pre-picked ahead of time, so I don't actually know the order of the vetoes, and I don't know if this was Reynor's map or FeaR's map. FeaR obviously hoping for something here, because he is, again, down 1 game here in the winner's match. But should he lose, there is still, like that's the nice thing about this group stage. He'll play the winner of Insane or Raiquiz. So he's not, even if he loses this game, and I'm not trying to get too far ahead of myself here, but even if he loses this game, he's still got more action to work through.
Yep. Reynor looked pretty strong. I mean, he didn't really get, these overwhelming wins until the very end there, of course, when it was more just that FeaR realized he couldn't replace the army that he lost. And in fact, FeaR, I would say, was doing a decent job holding on the first and second attack, but Ling's got a little bit too much for him, and Reynor's macro, just taking over the map, consistently rebuilding 40 Banelings plus, is too much for him as well.
So one thing I wonder about Reynor, by the way, specifically with that last game in that situation, but also might see presented here on New Gettysburg, is the idea of drops. Right? Like, once that +2 weapons comes in for melee, which he did have, Banelings start one-shotting probes. No Protoss player gets armor this quickly. You're going to have those one-shots go off. And I'm starting to wonder if, like, you think about that third base, how many waves of Lings and Banelings he threw to bust that wall, to take down the pylons, to ultimately get almost no probe kills because they're pulled away until the very end, as you said. I'm wondering if he starts considering drops then. Because, like, had 2 Overlords come in with 8 Banelings, I think it would have done monumentally more damage than the hundreds of Lings he was throwing at that wall.
See the pylon block over there.
Nice,
yeah, maybe.
Too, yeah.
I'd actually anticipate New Gettysburg to look a lot like that last map, just with even more, basically, main engagements going down, the wide open space between the 3rd and the 4th of Protoss.
The third base does seem to be a pretty regular point of contestation, and I can't even English at this point, whatever. Point is, like, a lot of fights go down around that third, and usually they're game-deciding fights, and it's never on the Zerg side of the field, it's always on the Protoss side.
Yeah, after the early game,
Okay,
Protoss really does lose that control.
FeaR's actually buying a lot of very necessary time because he doesn't have the Adept out, but man, this is like 5 pylon cancels. 4, excuse me. You're getting to the point where you might as well just let one of the pylons finish.
Yep, not gonna let this one finish. But the Adept is now out, so like you said, it was pretty important buying time for this. As he didn't get a Mothership Core either. He's going for a fairly quick Twilight Council here. FeaR did try and do a nice Adept attack early on, and actually committed a lot to it. And I guess you'd really have to look at the numbers pretty thoroughly to see if it really was worth it, because he did keep Reynor from getting to 60 drones too quickly. I think Reynor was dealt like 49 whilst defending against that, and I don't think that's enough to warrant the loss of all the Adepts eventually, but he also used Lings on it and lost some of his own armies, so I don't actually know if that led to anything bad for FeaR. I would say not. It really was some of these engagements going a little bit poorly, the third base not being covered in the last game, for those 2 run-bys and the one that eventually destroyed it. That's I'm interested to see if he's going to try and do the same thing again, because you can do the 6-7 Adept attack, and then you can just warp in back at home and play a macro game. Or you can do what FeaR did and do like the 6-7 Adepts, plus 3 more, plus 3 more, plus a Warp Prism, which is obviously more dedicated.
Well, the other part of this map that will take some pretty serious consideration, go back in the drops for a moment, either side, island bases. Was it Showtime, Neeb, Patience are among some of the great Protoss players we've seen try and take island bases on this map. And I really like the idea of island bases. I don't love the idea of Protoss Air, by the way. I think Protoss Air on this map is always going to be bad news bears. It never seems to work. Success rate really low on stream, etc. But I do like the idea of island bases. And specifically, if you're playing against Reynor, who is showing a heavy Ling style... Oh, God, that should not have gotten through the wall. That Overlord was almost like sick bait. I don't know. But either way, the Stalker is not going to go down. 4 health. Okay. Lings are into the main, hoping to get some probe kills, and hopefully this will be worth it. I was just going to comment, though, where if this was another game where there's a lot of Banelings and a lot of Zerglings and constant run-bys, that's where I think the island base really shines.
That would be nice. But then, of course, Overlord drops. If they find it quick enough, you won't have your defenses up, and you actually will just keep on losing it.
Maybe, yeah. Thank you to Fox Horror. Excuse me.
For the 19-month resub.
Nice. Happy Wednesday, Riff and Zombie Grub in chat. Hump Day! Hump Day.
Totally. Oh, the Adepts are now making their way across the map, and of course it's more than the original 6 that FeaR had. That Ling attack, it didn't kill so many probes, it wasn't so devastating, but it did draw the Adepts back, and is still keeping FeaR looking elsewhere. The Roach is now coming.
Yeah, I mean, the overcharge pops, but it's only going to kill a couple of Roaches. They're actually going to focus down the pylon. Probes get pulled away. Oh, excuse me, into this. He wanted to hold them in range of the pylon, I think was the intention there, but unfortunately not going to work out. He's going to lose some probes for this. Other side of the map, Adepts are going to get through these mineral lines and start killing some drones, but not as many as the 13 probes that have died so far. These Roaches are still nowhere close to cleaned up.
Game, actually. FeaR is really hoping to do something with this Adept attack, but I really don't see how he... Okay, he could have maybe shaded into a mineral line as opposed to getting fully surrounded by the Lings, but there just was enough army, I would say, from Reynor to deal with that without some serious footwork and, you know, clever shading, which he didn't have the attention on the army to do. He was focused on trying to save his probes.
Yeah. It's unfortunate it worked out like that. I said before, like, normally the engagements go down around the thirds that determine the fate of the game. Clearly not here, as it was the natural. And this wall still hasn't been rebuilt, by the way, so if Reynor were to follow this up with a lot of Lings, like, and he didn't, obviously, but should he have done that, this would have been a huge gaping hole just to run right through.
Yeah. But Reynor doesn't really have to worry about being attacked either, which is a big problem for FeaR. You know, he obviously gave away his Adepts, and that worked out really well for Reynor. Any follow-up Adept attack, you know, will be small, or it'll include units that are they're strong, but they have to be in a good position, they have to be microed, so the Immortals and the Sentries. And if Reynor can just see this on its way, which he will with an Overlord eventually, he didn't have the Zelnaga, which is a bit of a mistake, he'll be able to build Ravagers, which I think will be good enough to deal with FeaR's attack. This does feel a little bit desperate. If FeaR can actually do damage, though, I think he can recover in a macro game. But it's dangerous, man.
He's got to nail every force field. The Immortals have to get maximum damage, but there's already a surround coming from the backside. And, oh, FeaR, that's not going to work, man.
Shoot core, please. I'm gonna recall.
I can't recall the last time this worked. Okay.
Still loses Sentries.
Yeah, and those are the expensive parts of this too. That gas investment.
Yeah, I would say that did not do damage. Reynor had already gotten up to 65 drones, actually going up to 73 drones. Oh, whoa, more than that. Okay, maybe it's a little too many drones. But he is on 4 bases, so he has minerals to saturate with them. And he's just going to explode here with production soon. Roach Hydra this time. War Prism's going to try and buy more time, kill more drones, but Reynor's on top of things. Reynor just going to put on a clinic here. He's going to get out of the group with ease at this point, if everything still goes smoothly in the second game. Last game was a bit more of a struggle. FeaR actually showcased some good defenses, but not... This game has gone down for him real quick.
I mean, FeaR and Reynor kind of stood out as kind of leaders of the group anyways, and made quite evident here by being in the winners match, but I really didn't expect Reynor to do like a 2-0 into another 2-0. I mean, it's still, don't get me wrong, guys, the game's not over, and it's not over till the fat lady sings, all that stuff, but Reynor is so massively ahead in this game. Like, it's going to be really hard to lose it.
Mm-hmm.
Although, I guess it's true that it is easy to throw games, though. That's always something we should consider. I don't mean in a match-fixing way, but in, like, take a bad, over-dedicated engagement sort of way.
Yeah, I was going to say it even a bit easy. Yeah. I think it's going to be less likely for him to throw the match, actually, now that we don't have banelings on the field, because, like, what if he then sends 20, 30 banelings to one Archon and, like, manly detonates them? Okay, like, I can see that happening, but Roach Hydra is a bit more A-movie. It's pretty much numbers versus numbers here. I
just had early... Unrelated thought we'll finish up with afterwards, because Reynor is pushing through the really big fight. The Hydra's going to be able to take care of the Mothership Core. They'll also take care of the Immortals, which is a bit of an issue for the Roaches, obviously. Gateway's getting depowered, cut into production. Had that Storm finished, had there been AoE for this, look how close this came without it. I think a couple of Storms from on top of the Hydras. This gets cleaned up with a couple of Zealots on the back end. Even the Depths get warped in, but as we can see, not quite what's happened. Not quite what's happening. GG, well played, gets called in. Reynor takes the series 2-0.
Well done.
Okay, I just thought of like the greatest thing you can do at BlizzCon that you're never going to be able to do.
Okay, what?
First, I need you to do... Okay, so I only thought this because I was stretching myself. You know that... Do that thing where, like, you know, you're going to show off your guns for a sec, right? Like that, flex your arms or whatever. Okay. When you walk up to Bjorn, you know what you say? Hey, Bjorn.
What?
I hope you like bullets, because I'm going to take you to the gun show, and then you flex really hard in front of them.
Yes. Using an English pun with a Korean will work very well.
You know what? The reality is, he won't even need to understand. He'll just see you flexing in front of him and be like, what's going on right now? Like, who's this intimidating white-haired woman? Like, what's happening?
I really want to know what Bjorn is like in real life. He's gonna be so cute.
I think he's gonna be kind of a goof, and I'm looking forward to him for that much. Like his antics with innovation, the fact that I'm gonna make him eat a lot of chicken.
He's actually very like he has all those fan meetings, right? So it's not like he's like a shut-in or anything. But I do wonder how goofy he can be, because like I gotta be honest, like when I see Parting being goofy without knowing much English, like I have mad respect for that.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. But all right, guys, we're going to go to a commercial break, I guess, and we'll get the losers match set up next. This next one will determine who fights against FeaR in the grand finals of the group, but also who gets knocked out of the group. So we'll be back in 2 minutes. Thank you for watching the Dutch StarCraft League Group A. We'll be back soon.